No, the title's not clickbait. I am actually buying FARTCOIN right here. If price goes down to 15 cents, I'm not going to be buying a lot, maybe like 50K worth. The crypto market is down like insane right now, and I'm still more bullish than ever. But call me a permabull. That actually, the narrative fits really well here for me. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about crypto. We're also going to talk about Forex, my Forex trades over the past week, and just kind of the state of affairs in the world right now. So first, let's go ahead and get into FARTCOIN. Now, FARTCOIN, this is a great token with a lot of developer innovation, an amazing API, and then fast chain with transaction fees. Completely kidding with you. This is one of the stupidest things you could buy. Don't do this. The reason I'm buying though is because normally whenever you see price dip a lot on a lot of these tokens, especially the small cap tokens like FARTCOIN, which is effectively a meme coin, it makes a new low, price then bounces up, right? In this case, like 36% from that low. It makes a new low here, and then price bounces up, right? 38%, 40%. Price made a new low here, and then from that low to the peak was 100%. So what I'm doing is on FARTCOIN, I'm just waiting for price to go down here and make a new low. What I'll be doing is buying down here, so somewhere around maybe 15 cents or so. And then if it just pops up a little bit, right? That right there, that's a 50% gain if it pops up from there. Right, it's a wild gain. Right now, again, I'm not putting my whole portfolio into this. I'm not going to buy $5 million worth of FARTCOIN. I'm not become a long-term investor with the vision and the roadmap for the FARTCOIN utility token. Like, this is just stupid. You shouldn't be doing this. But I think that it presents a good risk-reward scenario with small capital, where if I'm wrong, right, and it just goes down here and tanks another 50%. I lose $25,000. You may consider that a lot of money. For me, that's a tiny percentage of my net worth and trading capital, so I'm okay with it. But if it bounces up, right, even just a tiny bit, right, it's a 50% gain. If I put 50K in, I make $25,000 profit. And if price comes all the way up here, back to like 30 cents per token, I make a 100% gain, right? And that's not out of the question, because normally, like in the grand scheme of things, right, with this thing, since it started being traded here in June on Coinbase, you see there's a lot of these big volatile moves on it. So I'm doing that. There's a couple more that I'm looking to maybe pick up a little bit in, such as MOG, such as Pepe, and then there's a couple more as well. But for now, the state of affairs with the crypto market looks like absolute trash. Now, why am I a permabull here? I'm a permabull here because of the risk-reward scenario, okay? I want to show you what was happening on Solana way back when, right? Way back when we were little kids, like a year or two ago. So this is like about 2 years ago, the end of the year 2023. All right, this whole region down in here was, since price crashed after the 2021 bull market. By the end of the year, we came down here. In 2021, we started coming down, and then midway through 2022, we started seeing the lows here, right? These little local lows from where price was going. And this was all the way from May of 2022 to October of 2023 before we actually started going back up. So this is a year and a half of price data. Now, I want you to watch what these percentage gains and losses are during this time period. If you bought anywhere down in here, okay, I have to let the thing reload because it's not loading. Let me just reload it here. Okay, so if you bought anywhere down in here, let's just say like price came down here and it made a new low down here, right? So you bought. If you happen to buy right here at $30 per Solana, price popped up 60%, right? That's an insane gain. Then it comes all the way back down here. It crashes from those recent highs and comes down here 36%. Now keep in mind and remember these numbers because they're going to be very important here in a second. Then what price did is it popped up a little bit. And if you bought anywhere in this region, let's say like just an average, like halfway in between, price then dropped down here 60%. Okay. Absolute insanity. And then if you were already down here and you added, and then it dropped another 45%. That little move right there is 45%, followed by a huge rally from that little local low of 200%. If you thought the bull market would continue right there, even if you waited for a pullback down here and it started to go up and you bought, say, somewhere midway through this range, it then popped up 15% before dropping another 40%. And remember these numbers, 40%, 30%, 40%, things like that. Before finally, all of this was made irrelevant by the huge bull run that ensued right here towards September of 2023, whenever price went up almost 1,000%. Right, these little moves down here back and forth pales in comparison to all this capital that got flooded in with all the inflows. And so what's going on with Solana right now is if we look at the all-time high of close to 300, which occurred about a year ago, to the drop all the way down here, this thing dropped 66%. It's very important that you take into perspective these percentages here, right? That's more than half of its value, okay? Now, what has happened here over the course of the past few weeks, okay? As recently as September of this year, right? We just got into November now, right? So September, October, November, right? It's about 2 months or so, maybe 2 months and 1 week. Price was up here at a local high, came all the way down, and we are down 45% roughly from that little recent high. Okay. Now, a lot of people are freaking out right now because people are worried, okay, crypto's over. There's going to be no altcoin run, and there's Bitcoin's over. It's going to crash. We're going to go back to 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K, whatever. It is what it is. Okay. Now, I'm not here to say that's not going to happen. I just think it's unlikely, and that is why I remain permeable. That is why I'm holding all my bags. I'm down $500,000 this month just in my spot holdings on Coinbase. I'm going to show you that here in a second. Let me just show you right now. I am down. Let's just see. Let's see how much it's down this month. Okay, we're going to go to the 1 month right here. I lied. I'm down $331,000. But if we go here to the year right here from the all-time highs of where my portfolio was at before I took out some money and sold a little bit, I was at like 1.67 million, and now I'm at like 1.1. But I took out 100K like a couple days ago, so 1.2 from that high. So I'm down about like $500,000, right? Effectively from almost like 1.7 million just to my spot holdings. This is what I actively trade with. I keep some stuff in some other wallets, some other exchanges, and then on a ledger for the longer term investments like Bitcoin. However, for just the altcoins that I actively trade, which are all these little like dog shit coins, someone would say, they're in the top 100 on CoinMarketCap in terms of capitalization. But just on these, I'm down $500,000, right? $458,000. And it's not fun, but I remain a permeable because whenever we're having moves like this right here of price going back and forth, right? It pulls all the way back here, 44%, 45%. When things finally take off, right? And it's some people will say it's a matter of if, I would say it's a matter of when, right? Okay, now I could be wrong and I accept that. I could be completely wrong and that's fine. But we're going back 4 years here, huge pump, huge drop, huge pump, huge drop from where we're at now. If prices do continue up, what we could see is another market like this, where Solana, even with the law of diminishing returns, right, which is like just price gets lower percentage gains over time because it has more market cap, takes more market cap to move the price in percentages. Even if Solana gets up here to say like 400, right? If we go from where we're at now up here to 400, that's almost a 200% gain, right? 180% gain, and perhaps it goes to 500 or something like that, right? It just triples in market cap from where it's at now. These types of gains, and this is just on Solana, which is a big cap, the smaller cap tokens can run even further. That is why it doesn't bother me to sit here through a really, really, really annoying, like, I think I'm down 30% on my spot trading capital right now over the course of the past, well, let's just say 2 months, just to be safe, right? It's maybe about a month, maybe it's 2 months, or something like that. From where everything crashed in September, or in October and November, everything is down real quick. Okay, and the spikes, when they do happen, they can happen a lot quicker oftentimes in crypto. Crypto's an insane Wild West market. So with how fast prices can go up, I sit here as a permabull saying, I could lose a couple $100,000 more if I'm wrong, and then scratch out right there, and I'm still up in profit on the year. I'm up like 2.5 million this year. And then if these trades work out, I'm going to make another $500,000 to $750,000. And I'll be up, maybe over 3 million, but I doubt that's going to happen by the end of this year. I'm going to give this about a 3 to 6 month time frame. That's just me. When you go look at these smaller cap tokens, like for example, SUI, this like SUI token, what could happen here is you had price just back here in July of 2024, right? So midway through last year, you had price drop from the all-time high to one of the recent lows, 75%. That's not uncommon in crypto at all. And then right after that, if you had bought anywhere down in here, you faced huge swings back and forth. That little tiny move right there, it's 50% drop. You put in 100K, you're down 50K. But then whenever the bull market finally comes and alt season gets here and everybody's clapping and cheering, this thing ran up almost 1,000%, just like Solana. And then it dropped from its recent high right there down almost 70%, right? 65% before then bouncing and had another huge move up over 100%. This is the kind of market we're trading in. And as long as you're not trading with leverage here on these little stupid altcoins, then you're generally not going to get completely wrecked unless you just put in money that you cannot afford to lose and then you panic sell when things are dropping. You look at the fear and greed index on CoinMarketCap right now, we're at very close to the all-time lows, anywhere from 15 to 25, like on a daily basis here over the course of the past few weeks. People are panicking. People are losing their minds. People who took out mortgage loans and then put their house on the line to be able to buy crypto on leverage like complete idiots are getting wrecked. And normally when we're at the top of a bull market and it's time to sell, you don't see this type of behavior. You see major euphoria. You see people losing their minds. You see people super excited and happy saying Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million here in the next few months when it's currently sitting at like 100,000 or 95,000. This is not what we're seeing right now. We're seeing people lose their minds with panic and fear and not greed. Okay. I've been trading since 2016, right? It's 9.5 years for me. I just turned 30 this year. I've been doing this since I was 21. I have seen bull markets and bear markets multiple times over the course of the past decade that I've been trading. This happens every single time. And again, I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong publicly. And I'm losing like probably another like close to $1 million in total from where I'm at now already, having lost $500,000 over the course of the past 2 months. But if I'm right, I make a lot of money if I'm right? A conservative estimate, if I'm right and things just pop back up a little bit, I make about $500,000. On a best case scenario, I make $750 to $1 million to maybe $1.5 million just on spot holdings, not even counting what happens to Bitcoin and my other wallets and ledgers and things like that. So that is why I remain 100% confident that the best thing to do right now is not to sell like a panicked idiot, but to just hold on to the holdings if you have them and if you can afford to just kind of like sit through them because you're in spot and you're not unleveraged like an idiot. I am not selling shit. As a matter of fact, I've gone to extreme delusional lengths and even said that I'm going to buy FARTCOIN. It's halfway a meme. The other half is just because of the risk structure. It's a great risk structure. If it drops that much and then I buy and then it just pops up a little bit, I make like a huge percentage gain. I'm willing to take that risk. I'll take that 50K. I'll go put it as a down payment on, I don't know, like an Aventador or something. I don't think you can get an Aventador with that down payment. But still, FARTCOIN will be a really funny meme. Same thing with these things like Pepe, right? So Pepe, stupid little meme coin, if it drops and makes a new lower low right here from where current market prices are, right? That's another like 21, 22%. I'm going to go ahead and make it even crazier. I'm going to put it all the way down here. That'll be a really good spot to buy. Comes all the way down here, another 40% drop. That'll be good. If I buy right there, this is at fractions of a penny, and it pops up, right, 70% gain. So I'm just waiting on some of these to make these huge moves down. And if they make huge moves down, then I will be able to get in at just dog crap level prices if price has these like big drops down here. Because the little pops back up are insane. So this thing, I don't know if it's going to be able to drop that low because that'll be like almost 100% of its value. But MOG USD, if I buy like right there on a 70% dip, right, if it pops just back up to where it's at now, it's a 200% gain. It's worth it if you have a little bit of money to put into it. You can put in a small amount, and then if it works, you make a lot of money. And if it doesn't work, right, you lose a smaller amount of money. The risk-reward scenario on these are good. It doesn't really matter what happens. It's a bet I'd take every single time. Right here at the time of making this video, Bitcoin had just crossed below $95,000, and it's currently pushing back up just a little bit to $96,500. Not quite sure where Bitcoin's going to go, but we are going to have Bitcoin head back to the north, and we're going to have Ethereum to stop flying south for the winter and start going up and making an all-time high before we can actually see an alt season. And that, again, I have like a 3 to 6 month time frame for this. I'm not 100% convinced it's going to happen by the end of this year, if it happens at all, right? Because I could be wrong and it might not happen at all. But I'm giving us a 3 to 6 month time frame. From where we're at in November right now, this puts us into May of next year, I think, or something like that. We're going to have to wait to see all the liquidity and all the capital to start flowing back into the crypto market. So that's the crypto market. Now, in terms of Forex trading, I have entered 2 trades this week. Okay, so I'm just going to show you both of them right here. One of them is AUD/JPY and one of them is USD/CHF. And currently these trades are sitting in right now on my terminal. It's about $25,000 profit. This was taken 7 a.m. this morning. It's now 9 a.m. It's taken 2.5 hours ago. But what's happening on these is this was the first trade. I'm just going to show you how simple it is because I trade very, very simply. And by the way, if you want to learn how I trade for free, just click the link in the description or the pinned comment. I'll put it below. It's a free training. It's a 1 hour long free training. There's not 69 hours of content. There's not 420 videos that you have to watch. It is one video that is an hour long, and for free, I teach you every single way that I trade, how you can duplicate it, how you can set up your own trading journal to track your trades in the exact same way that I do, and how you can completely just duplicate my exact trading approach. It's very simple and it's completely free. All you have to do is click the link below and just watch the free training. It's all there to condense every single thing into one video so that you can watch it without getting distracted, and you can learn how to do exactly what I'm doing here with Forex and crypto and stocks. So with that being said, AUD/JPY, I waited for price to come up here into this resistance zone, and my alert went off. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And then when the alert went off, I called a trade here when price was here in this resistance zone. So let's go ahead and look at the actual trade that I took. I'm going to be putting this here. So, okay, here we go. So Yesterday at 7 a.m. pretty much. So yeah, this is where I called this trade at. So whenever price got here into this resistance zone, you'll see that's where it was at. My alert was here at this yellow arrow, and then that would have been an even better entry, but price barely missed that alert. So I got kind of a little trashier entry, a little bit lower than where my alert was. Generally, I'll draw these support resistance zones in the weekly time frame. Again, all that's in the free trading video. You can learn that. I'm not going to waste time going into that to here because you can just watch that and learn it all for free. In detail, all the nuances, step by step. So I usually I'll sell about midway into the resistance zone, or I'll buy about halfway into the support zone. It's just a good place to enter. Stop loss goes above and target goes below, and this was the exact trade I took. So you see I'm on 80 JPY in the weekly time frame here in MetaTrader 5 with my broker terminal. And you can see whenever price got here into this zone, I put a stop loss above. I risked $50,000 on this, and I put a target below at 1-to-1 risk reward ratio to make $50,000 if it works out. The whole reason for this trade was because price was at a major weekly resistance zone. And I sold when price got there. And then I put a stop loss above the zone, and then I dragged a profit target down about a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And I risked 50K to make 50K. That's the whole logic behind the trade. I'm sorry that it's not complicated. I'm sorry I don't have any fancy shiny object syndrome, chipmunk level attention span trading strategy that you can use to just make billions of dollars and take a $1 account to $1 million in a month. I don't have any of that. I have a super simple trading approach that I've used for the past close to a decade. That's not true. Probably like the past 7.5 years since I've been profitable, because it took me about 2 years to get profitable trading. So I've been using this for the better half of way over half a decade, and it has made me millions of dollars. Not just in Forex, but also in Forex and crypto and stocks combined. I've made millions of dollars just trading, and all this is just based on simple support resistance. I have black and white candles on my charts. I have a black background with white candles and blue zones. Okay, there's 3 colors. I don't even have bear and bull candles colored differently. All the candles are the same exact colors. They're all white candles with a black background. We're really inclusive here. We have black background with white candles, and then I just have blue zones right here in the chart. It is so like freakishly, stupidly simple, and I don't know how to make it any simpler. So that's all I did. I sold at resistance. This was what it looked like the moment I entered. You can see the equity in my account, the margin, the free margin, the lot size, the exact numerical entry, as well as the P&L. And then swaps and fees and commissions will show as well in the closed trading terminal. And then I called this out right here. So about 8 a.m. yesterday morning, I'm short 80 JPY, 50K risk to make 50K. And I'll add if price gets deeper into the resistance zone with a total risk of $100,000. And I started going into profit immediately, $7,400. I said, it's like we're playing Black Ops Zombies on Keynote or Totem and we have insta-kill turned on. But in this case, it's insta-profits. I'm holding and there's no updates. So I held that. And then lo and behold, we get here to 5 a.m. this morning. Price is going into more profit. It's up almost $17,000. I'm still holding 80 JPY, no updates. And then what I did here is I got into this trade right here. So here's the next trade I took. I'm going to cover that right now. So USD CHF, you can see I'm long on USD CHF. I only risk $25,000 because my risk per trade will vary depending on the context. And then what I did here is this USD CHF weekly chart. You can see I bought here at the support zone with a stop below and a target above. I believe, in my very humble opinion, not financial advice because trading is risky and most people lose money. Please don't sue me. But I believe that if people just use daily and weekly charts, right? You can just pick one, flip a coin, just pick one. They're all the same thing. Just zoom in on the weekly or zoom out a little bit on the daily. And if you just buy at major, clear, obvious support levels with a stop loss below the zone and a target above the zone, risking a dollar amount consistently for every trade that you're comfortable risking. If that's $10 or $100 or $1,000 or $50,000 like me, it doesn't matter. Risk a dollar amount that you're comfortable with on that trade based on your risk tolerance and what your risk preferences are, and then let it hit the profit target or stop loss. Now, if you're risking the same dollar amount per trade, just doing that over and over again, one of the worst case scenarios imaginable that can happen is that you break even. And let me put this into perspective. 90% of people, or perhaps even more depending on what statistics you look at, 90% of people lose money trading. Okay, whether you're trading stocks or crypto or Forex, perhaps even more in crypto, people lose money because crypto's insane. But 90% of people or more lose money trading. Okay, you can be in the not 90% of people who lose money trading by just buying and selling randomly at random support resistance zones in the daily and weekly chart with a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio and letting price hit your stop loss or your profit target. And given enough trades, right, not 10, not 15, not 20, but given like 50 to 100 trades, what is likely to happen, worst case scenario imaginable, is that you're probably going to break even, right? You can quite literally be ahead of 90% of idiotic traders like me by just blindfolding yourself and buying and selling with a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. And then what you do is, I teach this in the free training video as well. I teach you how to track your trades in such a way where you can start noticing the little nuances between winning trades and what they have in common versus what the losing trades have in common with each other. Then you can start doing more of what works and less of what doesn't, optimize the trading approach going forward, and boom, you just have to win a little more than you lose, and you make money, like shit tons of money. You could, depending on how much you're willing to put in, and of course I can't guarantee you anything. I don't know you. I don't know how much capital you have to trade with. I don't even know if you have the cognitive intelligence to do this, because right, you can't be a complete retard, but you don't have to be a genius either, right? I'm certainly not a genius. Though I would say that maybe you could argue I'm a complete retard because I'm still trading somehow. So with that being said, I teach all that in the free training video in the link in the description about exactly how to structure all of this and track your trades. And you can do better than 90% of people by just literally entering random 1-to-1 risk reward ratio trades, because half of them will hit stop and half of them will hit profit target. And then you learn by kind of like dialing in the nuances and shifting things a little bit to get profitable by holding winning trades longer and cutting losing trades a little bit earlier. So with that being said, I bought here at support on USDCHF. I put my stop loss below and put a target above and risked $25,000. This was what the entry looked like on my chart terminal, and this is what the entry looked like in my actual P&L terminal. You can see these trades are now up $23,000, and again, it's probably more by the time like you're seeing this video because prices are just continuing to go. So with this said, like that is why I took this this USDCHF trade, and I'm holding these trades. And we had an amazing week last week. Last week I did $130,000. This was the last trade that I took. So USDCHF was another trade I took. Close it in profit. Last week I didn't lose a single trade. This does not always happen, but I won this trade here on GCAD, Euro AUD, GJ, and USDCHF, right? This was 4 trading opportunities. I made $130,000, and that's after swaps, commissions, fees, things like that. $131,000. And so the week was just under, about $130,000 profit. I've got this account from $250,000 to now it currently sits over $500,000 over the course of 2 months. And I'm not stopping either. I thought I might withdraw some of it and buy more crypto, but I'm going to wait a little bit to start picking up more crypto because I still think there's a really good chance we could go even lower. And I want to be able to just get dog shit level prices when everyone's freaking out. So I'm going to set another $250,000 to maybe $500,000 on the sidelines to wait to buy more crypto. But I'm going to keep growing this Forex account. I'm going to grow it to $750,000. Maybe I'll take out maybe $250,000 there, or maybe I'll just keep going to $1 million. It kind of depends on the trading opportunities and the context and the time of year. So with that said, I'm just going to kind of keep going with this account and just keep, try to see where it gets. But $130,000 last week. And then this week, we're currently sitting up, well over $20,000 this week so far. And these are the first trades we've taken. I'm very selective with my trades. I don't take a million trades, right? I take anywhere from 1 to 2 trades per week on average. Some weeks I take 5 trades. Some weeks, like last week, I take like 4 trades. Some weeks I take 0 trades. But it comes out to be about maybe 2 to 3 trades per week. Very, very simple trades. Trades that have a high likelihood of presenting some type of profit or break even, and a low likelihood of having a catastrophic loss. And I just do it over and over and over. And you can learn exactly how I do it at the link in the description to just, do my free trading, and I'll just teach you how all for free in that 1 hour long video. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and hop off now. It was a pleasure making this video for you, talking about crypto and Forex, and I will see you guys next week in next video. Hope you have a good one. Cheers.